Good morning, Mystics. How is everyone doing today? So, this is Vlogtober day 4. And today I wanted to talk about meditation and why I feel like it's extremely important. As this is just based on my practice, how I practice and what I do and things like that. But to me, meditation is kind of how you get your foot in the door when it comes to working with energy and all aspects of witchcraft, really. Because when you work with energy, to me, whenever I cast a spell, I am in a trance-like state. I'm in between worlds. So whenever I'm doing that, what helps me get into that place, into that space in my mind, is meditation. It's gotten to where it's just super easy for me. Of course, I've done this for a really long time, and I've meditated like pretty much my whole life. So to me, meditation came very, very easily. When we were kids, which I didn't realize exactly what was going on and how it helped me, in the present at the time, and even not so much as even when I was first started on my path, how things that happened to me throughout my childhood and things I was exposed to in my childhood really helped me become the person that I am, and this is one of those aspects that took me a while to be like, oh, that's what was going on, but whenever we were kids, and there was a lot of us, I'm the oldest of 4, so pretty big family, but when we were children, my mother, whenever we would go to visit like my grandparents who lived quite a distance away in northwest Arkansas, and we didn't see them very often, and the younger kids got really anxious in new environments. So when we would get ready to go to sleep, my mom would walk us through this guided meditation. Of course, that's not what she called it, and that's not really what, it didn't register that that's what that was for me until I was much older. And that's how we get to sleep. She would tell us to tense up all the muscles in our body, and then she'd walk us through relaxing every muscle, from our toes to our head. I never got to the head part. I was always passed out by about around the stomach. It worked really well for me. So when I started meditating regularly, when I first really realized it was something I was going to have to do in order to really work with energies and work with herbs and crystals, and this is how I was going to connect to all these things, herbs, crystals, tarot cards, pendulums, everything that I, my tools, everything that I work with in order to connect to it on that energy level, to really communicate to the spirit of these items, that meditation was going to come in, extremely handy. I was going to be using it a lot, and I just fit to it real easy. It just seems so simple to really get into that meditative state, like just seconds, where some of my friends at the time were just like, I don't even know how you do that. I can't meditate for shit. And it took me a while to realize, well, it's easier whenever you've been doing it since you were a kid. So, but yeah, I feel like meditation is really, really important. Today's mug, since I'm talking to y'all daily, I'm just going to show you all my different coffee mugs. I have a million of them. And they're cute. Anyway, so yeah, that was really a benefit that I didn't realize was a benefit. I didn't even realize what my mom had been doing that whole time, that she had been basically training us to meditate. And so yeah, it was simple for me. It was very simple to get into that calm state, because I'd experienced it before, you know, and your body just kind of remembers. But like I said, that's one of the reasons why I feel like meditation is so important, because yes, you know, there are resource books, and I do love my resource books, and I'm definitely not advocating not reading resource books. I love books. I'm a big reader. I will always advocate to read as much as you possibly can, both things like resource books and informative books and fictional books, and just read. I love reading. I read constantly. But you know, there's no comparison to learned knowledge and learned experience. And all the books in the world can have different, especially when it comes to like magical uses of herbs. Oh my gosh, y'all. Depending on who you read, it can vary so widely, which is why I work with herbs, and the way I get to know an herb, know its energy, know how I want to use it, is through meditation. Same with crystals. You know, this lovely crystal was a gift from the Deviant Witch, Mr. Michael Blackthorne. I love this crystal. It is from Arkansas. For those of you who don't know, Arkansas actually has a lot of crystals, and the only public diamond mine, which I actually used to work at for a while. But anyway, this is an Arkansas crystal, and I love this crystal. And whenever I first received it, you know, whenever I opened it up, it was just like, wow, it really, I could already feel a connection, you know, familiar vibe. And it could be because it came from the state I've lived in my whole life. Granted, I've lived all over this state, but I have lived in the state my whole life. And it could be from that, but it was almost like its spirit kind of just reached out and touched me. And in order to understand that better, I would meditate with it. And yeah, I have slept with this under my pillow, all kinds of things like that. But and it does help, don't get me wrong, but that is also kind of a meditative state. You know, your brain waves are really similar in certain cycles of sleep as they are in meditation. So yeah, that's how I got to know this crystal. That's how I know exactly the personality of this crystal, what its benefits for me will be working with me, how it will truly help me, and not just in a very generic way, like, you know, clear chords. Oh, it amplifies power, you know, amplifies any kind of spell working, and definitely this does, but this also helps clear my mind. And whenever I meditate with this particular crystal, it helps me clear energy and run energy through and clear my head and really get me focused, and helps me to see things clearly. And not all clear chords does that for me, and I would never know if I didn't meditate with it. So to me, meditation is really, if there was anything that I would say is the ground, you know, structure, or gosh, what am I trying to say? The base of the structure of witchcraft, I would say personally for me, it's meditation, because that's, you know, I use it in everything, and I use it to connect to everything. So, a few tips on how to help your meditation process if you struggle with it. And well, I'll say a lot of people do. I guess that's irrelevant, because it just depends on who you talk to. But some people do struggle with meditation, and to me, there are a lot of ways you can circumvent all those struggles. You know, and there's so many videos about this, y'all, I'm sure. And everyone has their own unique way. But this is like for those of you who are kind of OCD and a little anxious all the time, or really hyper a lot, because that's the type of person I am. And most of you probably noticed I cannot sit still when doing these videos. Coffee probably doesn't help that, but whatever, I love coffee. And honestly, I am just a fidgety person by nature. So people like that, it can have, you know, challenges when it comes to meditation. So for me, the most important thing is to be comfortable. And from everything to what you're wearing, if you're wearing something that's really restrictive, then, y'all feel like I need to sneeze. Anyway, if you're wearing something really restrictive, then you're not going to be comfortable. If you're wearing tight clothing that hurts, not tight clothing like yoga pants. Yoga pants are comfortable, even though they're kind of, you know, they cling. But like tight clothing that's like uncomfortable, it's going to be a lot more challenging to really get into that meditative state. If you're sitting on a hard-ass floor, you know, I don't sit on the floor to meditate unless I have a pillow or something to cushion my butt, mainly because I have no ass, and so whenever I sit, it's like my tailbone is right there on that hard floor, and it's really uncomfortable for me. But, so I don't sit on the floor. You don't have to sit on the floor. I know everyone sees the poses of people on the floor with their legs crossed and, you know, arms up, and that's fine for some people, but not everyone can meditate like that, and you don't have to. There is no, like, regulated pose that you have to be in, okay? So I get comfortable. I wear comfortable clothing. I wear comfortable clothing all the time, so, but I wear comfortable clothing, and I find a comfortable spot. Usually that's in the very center of my couch, and I cross my legs, and I do sit Indian style, but that is a comfortable position for me. I just don't like doing it on the floor, because to me the floor is hard, and I'm like not young as I used to be, and I don't want to sit on a hard ass floor. I'm going to be concentrating on how much my hips are killing me. So I sit on the couch, I get comfortable, I play music because that's what I like to do. You don't have to play music, and sometimes I don't. Sometimes I just listen to, you know, the sounds of nature. Like right now I have my windows open because it's really nice outside, it's very cool, and so I usually don't play. Like this morning I didn't play music whenever I started meditating, because it was just a really nice, calm environment where I could listen to the wind and my wind chimes and the birds and just slip into my meditative state. So be comfortable, wear comfortable clothes, sit in a comfortable position. You can lie down if you want to. For me, depending on the time, like in the evenings, I cannot lie down and meditate or I will fall asleep. So I usually sit. But if you know you're not going to fall asleep, then whatever's comfortable for you. When it comes to your brain not shutting off, that's usually what I hear people complain about. Like, I can't do it. My brain won't stop. My brain won't stop. For me, I give my brain something to do. As in, I picture myself, you know, sitting in a forest, and I concentrate on that. So, and especially if I'm doing a meditation where I become a tree, you know, roots grow out of my the bottoms of my feet, out of the base of my spine, and I transform into a tree, which is a fun meditation to do. My brain doesn't have time to think about other shit because it's focused on me becoming a tree, you know. So give your brain something to do. And after a while, you won't have to give your brain something to do because your brain will be trained once you get into that position once you sit in that same way that you have been sitting, and habit, repetitiveness leads to a habit, and habit leads to training your mind to understand what your body's about to do before it does it. So be repetitive. I don't mean wear the same exact clothes, but always be comfortable. Sit in the same spot, in the same place. That's why I sit in the middle of my couch for some reason. That's just where my body feels the most comfortable, and it knows right then, bam, okay, she's going into meditation. I've just trained my brain, and that's what it's about. It's about training your brain. So if your brain won't shut up, because mine does that, a lot, that's why like I said, I give it something to do. So give your brain something to do that's relative to the meditation. Even if it's just visualizing all your chakras from your base, your base chakra up to your crown, or just whatever it is. As long as it has to do with the meditation, it's going to benefit you. So give your brain something to do. And you don't have to do it for a long time. People are like, oh, well, I can only meditate for like 5 or 10 minutes. That's all you need. 5 or 10 minutes is fine. As you practice and as you get more comfortable and as you get into this routine, you can go longer and longer times. But honestly, you don't have to stay in a meditative state for like 30 minutes. I wouldn't want to do that. My legs would be asleep, and I'd be it would go from being a very relaxing, rejuvenating, comfortable thing to a pain in the ass, literally, because you've been in that same spot for 30 minutes or an hour. I mean, definitely do it if you feel you need to, but it's not something that you have to do. You don't have to stay in a meditative state forever. And besides, whenever I am in a meditative state, it can seem like I've been there for hours when I've only been there for minutes. Time is not really relative when you are meditating and when you're in that state. So be comfortable, sit comfortable, be repetitive, do the same process over and over. If your mind won't shut off, give it something to do. This, relates to your meditation. You don't have to meditate forever. So just get into those practices. Practice, practice, practice. It's just like everything else in life. The more you practice, the better you become. So, pick a time to meditate every day. I would even, back whenever I was working 9-to-5 job and wasn't self-employed, on my breaks, whenever I was having a stressful day, I would pop into that meditative state for like 5-10 minutes. Ground myself, get rid of the anxiety, all of that. And that would help. So just try doing it randomly to, see how you've improved. If you can't get it, then you can't get it, and that's fine. Stop and try later whenever you're in your peaceful place and doing the same thing you usually do. But as you progress, try it out. Don't do it while you're driving or anything like that. Use discernment about where you're doing this. But yeah, try it out. Try doing it while you're waiting in the grocery line, or in the shopping, in the checkout line while you're shopping, and everyone's being crazy, and you've got like 4 people in front of you, and you're at Walmart, so there's only like 2 checkers in the whole damn store. So, meditate for a little bit. Clear out that anxiety. Try doing it with your eyes open, and just let them go out of focus and clear your energy, ground yourself. Try it all different kinds of ways, but try it, because like I said, to me, meditation is really the key to everything I do in witchcraft. And I think that if you become comfortable with it, if you don't meditate regularly already, if you become comfortable with it, you will notice a change in your witchcraft. You'll be able to connect to energies better. You'll be able to communicate with spirit guides better. You'll be able to communicate with deity better. You'll be able to understand why someone says that such and such herb is good for this, because you can communicate with that herb on your own and find some other ways that, you know, people may not recommend that herb for, but they work for you. You know, it's all about taking the theory and putting it into practice. You know, and you'll be surprised, I think, at how some things are the same. Some things that you learn are spot on from books, and some things that you learn aren't the same for you. And that's okay. You know, we're each a unique individual that has a unique set of vibrations that connect to other vibrations in different ways. So try it out. Let me know what you think, especially if you're not, you know, a regular meditator. Try it out. Let me know what you think, and hopefully it helps you out and improves things. So let me know, guys. I do have, I think I have, if I don't, I'll make one real quick, but I think I have a list, a meditation like music playlist here on YouTube, and if I do, I will link it in the description below, so you can check out some meditation music if you want to use it. You're obviously more than welcome to check that out. Oh, I have a few new items and new specials in my shop, thedreadfulmystic.com. I have 3 different, well, 2 tarot readings and an oracle reading that are on sale right now for the month of October, because y'all know the month of October, that's like everybody wants readings, everybody enjoys getting readings around this time, witchy new year and all that. So I have several, well, 3 anyway, tarot reading specials going on, and I will put a link up here to my website. It should pop up, or up here, whichever side it pops up on. And I also have a new item in my shop. It is Kali oil that I made and charged on Kali's altar. It was obviously inspired by her, so y'all can check that out. And all this month, well, at least in the rest of this week and possibly next week, I will have new items in my shop. So y'all check it out. That will be relevant to the Samhain energies, the Samhain season, I guess I should say. So thank you guys for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.